Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we'll be talking about the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker box office continuing to bleed money, now barely making $1 million in a day, getting very close to actually coming in underneath $1 million in a day on this past Monday's box office. But before I get into that, I just want to give you an update that there will not be a live stream on the channel tonight. There will not be a one-man low council. Today is my anniversary with my wife, so we're going to go ahead and spend a lovely time getting some dinner and hanging out, so I will not be available for the live stream. My plan is to push it to tomorrow evening around the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please stay tuned to Twitter and the Discord and things like that if you want to join the stream at that point in time. But let's go ahead and try not to make this video too long today because I do need to start getting ready for dinner, and I just want to talk about the Rise of Skywalker. And as you can see, it came in at the number 2 slot, but now we can see very clearly that we have reached the case of the Januaries. Januaries are where films tend to go to die. It is the slowest time of the season, just like on YouTube. It's a very slow ad revenue time of the season as well. At the movies, it's also very slow. As you can see, 1917, which is a new wide release, made $3 million. Star Wars made a little over $1 million. Little Women made in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as you can see, a lot of films that are brand new or have not been out all that long really aren't making a whole lot of money. I'll do an update of the box office of this probably sometime tomorrow. If I have a little bit of time today after this video, I will. But the big news of the day is, of course, this Rise of Skywalker number. Not just because the fact that it's been out for 25 days, but the fact is that this film is now at the point where it's making almost less than Rogue One did before inflation. And I think that is the big story of the day. So as I've been showing the last several times that I've talked about this box office, I've been showing you the day-to-day comparison. So at this same time in history, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story made more money. So on its 4th Monday, Rogue One made $1.7 million. Rise of Skywalker has made 1.1. Keep in mind, this number is before you adjust for inflation. When you look at where the movie was at the same time in history, this is the before adjusted for inflation number. This movie, Rise of Skywalker, is only maybe a few $100,000 ahead of where Rogue One was at the same time in history, before inflation. Meaning that if the trend continues, and guess what? The trend has been, every time we see a bold number on this side, by the way, that is the film making more money. And ever since basically the first week, after the first week of its release, when everything has just died off, like seriously, the drop-off has been insane from week 1 to week 2. And as I remember, also keep this in mind, Rogue One had some very, 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 very nice legs for a movie, especially, which is the reason why I was able to reach the $1 billion mark. Ever since that first weekend, it has not been able to win a single day-to-day comparison. And again, this is before you adjust for inflation. So from the second Sunday all the way now until the 4th Monday, Rogue One has been able to beat it out every single day, meaning the difference between the two domestically has continued to fall, meaning that if the number and if the trend holds, you will likely see as early as tomorrow, if not sometime this week, Rogue One surpassing the amount of money domestically prior to inflation of that of Rise of Skywalker. So what can we expect from that? Well, before you adjust for inflation, the end of the run, so the end of the run for Rogue One: A Star Wars Story was around $532 million. So if the trend continues, we can assume that this number, seeing that this is before inflation, this number will come in underneath the before adjusted for inflation number, meaning that this film likely will top out around maybe 515, 520. As far as the overall box office goes domestically, it's made internationally $511 million. Doesn't seem like it's really speeding up a whole lot there or carrying over a whole lot of money there. So what if this film makes another, $20, $30 million? That means that we have a world where this film comes in maybe around $1.05 billion, $1.06 billion, would put it just around the same amount of money that a movie that costs significantly less money called Joker, which just got a bunch of Oscar nominations. If you want to hear my talking and thoughts on the Oscars, go check out and be a Patreon and Subscribe Star member. I do a whole 40-minute episode covering my thoughts, just instant reaction thoughts to the Oscar nominations and all my commentary about what I think about the Oscars over there. So go check out the Patreon tiers over there, or Subscribe Star tiers if you want to. Links for that are in the description of the video. But you're looking at a situation where a film that costs significantly less money will end up being not only more profitable, that's already a fact, Again, Joker made over $500 million in net profit. This movie, Rise of Skywalker, is set to make maybe around $100 million in profit, and that's depending on what you assume the production budget is, because honestly, I don't think this is the final production budget. It might be listed here and elsewhere, but as you all know, for most movies, normally they only give you a range because usually the studios don't cover and don't mention how much it costs for reshoots, how much it costs for their actual marketing. And so I've been putting the number around 350, which I think is pretty reasonable. However, it could be higher, it could be lower. That all being said, this is a really bad scenario. When you have your last film, the 9th film, the Skywalker saga, doing as well, if not most likely worse than a film like Rogue One, because remember, when you adjust for inflation, this movie is over $1.1 billion in total. When this movie in the saga, in the actual saga series, is making less than, and is now almost guaranteed to make less than Rogue One, a Star Wars story, you are in a huge danger zone. You can try and spin the numbers to say it's still $1 billion, and $1 billion is worth talking about. I heard someone on a stream saying, well, $1 billion is still something. Yeah, a lot of crappy films have made $1 billion, and guess what? There's a little film called Alice in Wonderland that made $1 billion, and guess what the second film made? It made like less than half of what that was, because guess what? That movie destroyed the IP. These are the types of numbers that show you the IP has essentially been destroyed cinematically. We can talk about the success of shows like The Mandalorian, but go ahead and look to the fact that Disney Plus subscribers pretty much just left town as soon as that show ended. And even that show has its critics. Even that show has the fan base split in a much more healthy way, I would say, because I think there's some genuinely good things about The Mandalorian. But for anyone to say that it was an excellent Star Wars show, I think is to be ignorant, because it was a mediocre Star Wars show at best. Compared to the movies, it's freaking Mozart. Compared to the movies, it's freaking Shakespeare, absolutely. But I think we need to realize that the damage that has been done to the IP, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. And if you have a movie that is going to be the second lowest grossing Disney-run film, that is just above a film like Solo, a Star Wars story, meaning that the bottom two films, talk about being in good company. The bottom two Star Wars movies under Disney will be Solo, which didn't even make $400 million, and Rise of Skywalker, which made barely over, or will likely just make barely over $1 billion. That's not a good metric. That's not a good look. The IP has been destroyed. Good job, Disney, and I cannot wait to continue to see Rogue One, a Star Wars story of all movies continue to whoop your ass at the box office. But let me know your thoughts about this. And also, please, I recommend checking out the link in the description of this video, because I have my own award ceremony. Screw the Oscars, right? What do they know? They've been screwing over films. They left out films like Lighthouse for the acting categories. They left out several other films that a lot of you have shown a lot of interest in. So if you want to be a part of the Odin's Movie Blog Award Show, which we call the Wednesday Raven Awards, a fan award show, go ahead and click on the link in the description of this video to your ballot. You get to rank your top 10 movies. So these are the movies that got nominated by you. So I didn't choose these. These were nominated by you. You get to rank these from 1st to 10th. That's how it works here. So therefore, the one that truly is the most popular, that gets the most first, second, third place votes, is the one that will end up being the winner, not just popular vote. You got film categories like the Kathleen Kennedy Ryan Johnson Award for Excellence in Craft World Building. What will be the worst film, essentially, of 2019? Please leave your rating there. And many other great categories, fun categories, including things like one-liner, which have some of the best one-liners out there, and a lot of other categories that I honestly think serve the audiences much better than what we've been getting at the Oscars. Also, if you want some extra content, please think about becoming a Subscribe Star member. I offer a lot of exclusive content. I've recently had some changes to the overall tiers. There's actually a new podcast that I'm now offering for my $10 and up backers over there. If you're a $25 and up backer, not only do I send you a t-shirt, but also you get to be featured on the channel once a month. That will be coming up probably in the next couple weeks for January. So if you want to get in on the action and get in on some good stuff, there's also some giveaways that I do. Currently, still now, because no one's entered in for it, there is a current giveaway for a 4K copy of Joker. So all you need to do is be a part of the $5 tier for that to happen. So think about joining me over on Subscribestar and on Patreon. It does help support the channel. It allows me to continue to do the things that I do. And I'm planning to do a lot more stuff for 2020, including trying to provide more interviews for certain tiers, like behind the scenes stuff, maybe trying to get some Geeks and Gamers and Fandom Menace and other types, maybe some bigger channels that maybe have not been featured before on the channel in interview format for you guys as well. So let me know your thoughts about this stuff and all the things talked about in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash the like button. Give us subscribed. It helps me out a lot. You're all amazing people. Also, if you're a $1 backer on Patreon Subscribe Star, you get my utmost thanks at the end of every single video, which is why I've been posting that as a part of every single video package so far. Your name gets shouted out at the very end. So if you want your name or channel shouted out, think about becoming a $1 Patreon or Subscribe Star member. You guys rock. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now I want to give a shout out to my January Patreon members: animation commentator Brian P, Dion, Divex, Elizabeth M, Enrique Evangelista, fan addicts of film, Father Christopher Miller, hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lanceloto, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, and Tina B. and Sharon Ferguson. Sharon! Thank you so much for being Patreon members. And of course, to my Subscribe Star peeps, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2Cool99, Darkstar57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebalan G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you so much for supporting me this month. You guys freaking rock.